Alright guys, what I'm working on today is another PS4. This has been sent to me by another repair shop, but this one has a note attached to it. So let's read the note. It states, "Hi Silvio, please check the machine as it won't read discs. Every time we enter a disc into the machine, it spins and states it's unrecognized disc. We have replaced the laser with a brand new one, but it still did not work. Please check further." So let's tear this machine down, take the back cover off, and let's have a look at what the fault is. Right, cool. So the model number reads CUH-1002A. We'll take this cover off. Let's have a look. Okay. So as we take the cover off, we find that this metal plate here has got some sort of extensive liquid damage onto this. This cable here doesn't seem to be in all the way. So what we'll do is we'll clean this out. So we'll take this plate out, give this board a good bath, because they've said that they've replaced the laser, and I don't doubt their work. And we'll recheck all the connections, plug this up onto the TV, see if we can get the same symptoms at the repair shop did, and we'll plug this back on, see how we go. Okay, so the PS4 is connected to the TV. We'll grab the disc, we'll insert it into the PlayStation, and let's see what sort of error do we get. So we see this disc on the corner keeps spinning, and it's making a funny sound. So it's trying to load, it's trying to read, and it keeps spinning despite it's got a new laser in it as well. So we'll see what message do we get. So we still get a unrecognized disc in here. So we'll tear this down, put it in our workbench, and let's see how we go from there. Okay, now we'll go ahead and take this metal cover off and see if we've got any further damage, water damage on the board itself. This does look quite bad as is. So we'll take this off. It doesn't look too bad, but let's zoom you guys in. Yeah, so we see there's a bit here, water damage. So that's your motor controller for the drive itself. You've got your laser connector here. This has got some damage on it as well. So I might replace that. And then this clip here, you see it's not sitting properly. If we take this out, we notice that it's missing an ear off that, so we'll connect that. So first thing is first, before we go any further, I want to test this board for any missing fuses, missing components, or anything like that. So I've got my trusty fluke meter here, which is fluke 115. We'll test it on the continuity scale. So what that means is when you touch the two probes together, it makes a sound, a beep. So we'll go ahead and first of all find the fuses. So we've got a F201, which is this one here. Yep, so that works. And then we've got F203. Okay. And then we have, there's one supposed to be here, but oops. This one's supposed to be here, but there's nothing there. Maybe it's on the reverse side. And then we have F501. So we'll go over here. So we notice there's no beep on that one. so there's nothing that works. I do have another one, so similar one here, and just for reference I want to check this one compared to this. So I do believe they both are the same. Sorry, no, so this is a, so whenever you're working on this, just be sure of that number there, BDP-020, and this one here is BDP-025. Now I've done a little bit of research, and I do find that the BDP-025 and the 020s are compatible. If you do go any further than that, then just be careful. And you might find that these connectors here, there might be an extra pin for the laser drive or the motor controller that will be on another board, like the 115s or the newer slim models. So this, the 020 and the 025s are compatible. So we noticed that there's supposed to be a fuse here. There is a fuse here that is not beeping, so my meter's beeping, but let's find why this is not working. So what I'm going to do is find a little fuse off one of my donor boards, so maybe this one here, and replace that fuse, put that into the machine, plug it all back up, partially assemble it, plug it into the TV, and let's see what sort of results do we get. Okay, so that's where the white dot is, that one there. So that's the fuse that we're wanting to remove. So we'll go ahead and do that. So the way I do this is just with a fine tip soldering iron. I apply heat to each side evenly, and just take your time when you're doing this. Okay, we'll apply a bit of flux to that. Okay, they should be ready to come off now. Okay, there we have it. Little tiny fuse. Okay, so we'll clean that area, tin it, and let's see how we do. Some IPA. Grab my brush. Let's make sure that's clean. Okay, now let's tin it. Ready for our new fuse. Okay, looks good. Okay, that looks good. Let's grab our new one. Just going to turn this to the side and we'll get you into focus. Yep. one side. Where are we? Okay, that looks good. We'll test it with the multimeter. Still in the continuity test mode. Okay, cool. So we'll go from here to here. Yep. Across the fuse. Yep. And then we'll go from this pin to the first leg. Yep. Cool. So we'll give that a good clean with isopropyl. Alright, that looks clean. Just re-tap it with the soldering iron. Okay. So remember that was the fuse F501. Okay, cool. We'll partially assemble this, plug it up to the TV, and we'll see how we do. Okay, so I've got it all connected up to the TV. That's the original Blu-ray drive board. We've got our game here. Insert this. Remember it's upside down, so the disc also goes upside down. Alright, so it's accepted the disc. And now let's see what it gives us on the TV. So you notice on the right hand side, it keeps spinning. And this is making funny sounds. So it's trying to read. Still spinning. So we still get an error of unrecognized disk. So now what happens is I've got a replacement one here. So with this you just can't replace this here and then expect it to work. No, it doesn't work like that. These Renesas chips on here. This one right here. So this is responsible for notifying the motherboard. So this is called the daughter board. And there's the motherboard inside here. So this is responsible for telling the PlayStation that yep, okay, cool, I've got the right CD in here, I've got the right code from the CD, let's play the game. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to eject the disc and I'm going to remove all of this out and I'm going to place this in here. Obviously it won't play the game. What it will do is it will show me an indication if the game's actually showing up on there. It'll show up the game and then I'll press X and it'll look like it'll play, but it'll give me an error. So that error means that that Renesas chips that's on here is not paired to this motherboard. So this is the donor one that I've got off my parts PlayStation. And if that's the case, then what we'll do is remove the original Renesas that's on this and place that onto this board here. So we'll desolder all of this out, remove this out of this one, remove the Renesas of this original Blu-ray drive board, the daughter board of this PlayStation, and marry it onto this. And I'll show you how to do that. So first of all, we'll go ahead, remove this, place this in here as is, and go from there. Okay, so we've gone ahead and replaced that board. So there's the old one. So we need that Renesas chip off that and then to marry into that. So this is the old one. So now what we'll do is press the eject button so that function works. Remember it's upside down, so the disc goes in upside down. We'll insert this and we'll watch what it does. So straight away you can hear the disc spinning in there. and there we have it. So it's showing up, and now we go ahead and on our controller press X that you want to play the game. It says update now, update later. So we go down, update later, and it'll give you that error there. So that's what I was talking about, the Renesas. So now we have to remove this chip off the original daughter board of this PlayStation and remove this one out, so we don't need that one, and we need to solder this one to that board there. So we'll remove everything from here, take it onto the workbench, and we'll move forward from there. Okay, so we've got all the heat protection around it. Now we'll grab our wand, and I've got it set at about 4 milliliters of air, and the heat's at about 450. So we'll go ahead and apply heat to this. Grab our pair of tweezers. Just evenly. This shouldn't take too long to remove. It's a lot easier than the HDMI ports. Okay, that should be enough. Let's grab your tweezers. Alright, so these are the Renesas off the donor board, so we don't need that, but we'll keep it aside anyway. So now what I'm going to do is apply a bit of flux onto this. And I want to clean all of these pads and re-tin them for the new board. So here's the other one that we need to remove. So this one gets soldered onto this board here. So make sure if you're doing this, make sure you put a lot of marks on it so you are aware of which board is which, so you don't get confused while installing it. So we'll go ahead and remove this now, mount it onto this, same process, remove it, and we'll go ahead and solder it onto that. Okay, we'll go and take this one off, the original board. Again, it shouldn't take too long as the HDMI ports do. Just take your time when you're doing this. Ample amount of flux should be applied. And I've got it set at 4 milliliters of air and about 450 heat, the airflow. Okay, I can see it turning silver. Okay, so we'll move. Alright, there we go. So that's off. That's the original one. Keep that onto this board. And these the other one. So we've got two here. So we've got that one. So we've got that one, that's the original, and that's the old one. So we'll put this one on here. And get rid of this, get the new one on, solder everything on. Alright then, so we'll get this new Renesas chip on, sorry, the original Renesas chip. So we'll apply plenty of flux to these pins. Don't worry, it'll all get cleaned up. Okay, and now what you want to do is just heat it up on all sides. Just like that. And then just with the tweezers, just ever so lightly just press down on it. They'll just ensure that all of the pads are on properly. That should do it. Okay, so now I've got you under the scope. Now we check if each pin is correctly joined to the pads. So we just go across with a scalpel, just test each pin individually. Don't nudge them too hard, just a slight little touch. Okay, so that row, everything seems fine. Come down this row here on the right side. I'm just using a sharp scalpel to do this. Okay, so that side's good. Now we go to the bottom side. So you can see quite clearly everything's joined up really well. So remember, not too much pressure, just slight little touches. And if something is out of alignment, then what you do is just grab your soldering iron and just ever so lightly just go over them. Yep, and then the last side, just this one here. Okay, everything seems to be in order. Okay, cool. So now what we'll do is we'll give this a good bath under the isopropyl IPA as well as the acetone. So acetone will get rid of any residue that IPA leaves behind. So we'll do that now. Okay, so everything's nice and clean. All done. So we'll put this onto the PlayStation now and see how we did. There's the old one. So I'm going to keep this board just for spare parts. Maybe I'll need this motor controller driver IC there, or one of these connectors or something. So I'll keep this anyway, but I won't need this Renesas anyway. And so we'll go and install this into the PlayStation, see how we do. Okay, so I've got it partially assembled here, connected to the TV. Grab our disc, FIFA 16. Remember it's upside down, so we insert this upside down. Alright, that's gone in. Alright, so we get our disc recognition up here. This is running. And there we have it. So we'll grab our controller, press X, update later. Okay, so that's still in the loading screen now. I just want to get past the screen just so I know we don't get that error again. Alright, awesome, cool. So remember, we can use the BDP020 board on this. Here's the original one. Remember, we replaced the Renesas out of this into that. So this was the original drive board with multiple faults on it. So we took the Renesas out of here and we transplanted it into that board there, and there we have it. So it is possible to transport the Renesas from another motherboard or another daughter board of the PS4 into a working BDP025 board. And there we have it. So we have a successful repair. Remember, if I can do it, you can do it. Thank you for watching.